Welcome to 5 Minutes of Faith. I'm Apostle Trevor Banks. Glad you've joined us again. Trust that these nuggets I've been dropping, you've been receiving. They've been falling into good soil, springing up, and bearing fruit in your life. We've been talking a little bit about creating your own world. Language is initially for creating. Words create images that can create life. And the power of the tongue is life and death. They that love it shall eat the fruit of it. So language was created to create, but it's also created for communication. Most use it or understand it simply for communicating. But far beyond just communicating, there's a creative force in your tongue. Let's take a look from the book of Genesis, how God himself created the man to function and operate like himself. So we pick up the story that we started where Adam and Eve were to represent God on the earth to the rest of his creation. God brought the atmosphere of heaven to the earth in the form of the Garden of Eden. Now, before man was created and why the world was in such a chaotic state, as we see God in Genesis restoring it, is because of the rebellion of Lucifer. He was assigned a third of the angels, being one of the chief or anointed cherubs, Gabriel, Michael, and Lucifer. He was in charge of a third of the angels, as the other two archangels were. And he rebelled and took a third of those angels with him in rebellion. Result, cast out of heaven, and the earth and heaven void and in darkness. Now God is in the process of restoring. We see the seed is already in the ground. Everything clears up. Yet there's a dimension of darkness. There's three types of darkness. There's physical darkness. There's the darkness of judgment, and there is spiritual darkness. In Eden, there was light, everything pleasant to look upon. The very atmosphere of God's heaven, the peace of God was there. The man and the woman were placed there. And their instruction was not to fight the devil. They weren't even instructed in warfare. They were instructed to keep their eyes on God, to follow God, to obey God, to learn from God, and while so doing, they would be extending that garden. God wanted to repossess all of the creation, starting in the Garden of Eden, to take that planet back, whom at one time Satan had authority over. Now, understand Satan's outside the garden, and he doesn't have authority, so therefore there was no need for warfare. When he didn't have authority, there was no need to instruct Adam and Eve on warfare because he had no authority. He couldn't come into the Garden of Eden and violently take it because he had no authority. When he received authority, it was due to Adam relinquishing his authority and giving it to Lucifer or Satan. But before then, he had none. I want to point out to you, in today's modern world and time, in all the rush and hustle and bustle and adversity and challenges that we face, the Bible tells us, give the devil no place. And let me take it a little further. If you give him no place, he has no place. He has no authority. Jesus, when he came, he took that authority back and he gave it back to man because God said, let us make the man and let them have dominion and authority in the earth. And so now we're back to origins. So let me encourage you. Give the devil no place. Don't give him place with your tongue, with your testimony. Don't allow fear or any of these things to have any place. And in so doing, you'll keep him out of your garden. You don't have to be worried about him, concerned with him. Concern yourself with God. God's got your back. If you occupy yourself with God, He'll see to you. So we're going to continue this because we want to go deeper. There's reasoning. There's a reason why God has you where you are. And sometimes there's a reason why, unbeknownst to you, that you go through what you go through. Some of it is undue. It's not necessary. Stop giving the devil what he doesn't deserve. Give God the glory. So we're going to continue in creating your world because you have the ability to do it. So until next time, remember, you don't need a whole lot of faith. Use the faith you've got. God bless you.